So do you know what day it is today? It's the day that the Goodreads Choice Awards nominations get announced. I am so excited about this. This is very much a popularity contest, so I love to see which books that are on there that maybe I've never heard of, which books that I want to vote for out of the books that have been nominated, and try and guess what's going to probably be on there. I'm going to go through the categories and do a live reaction, and I'm also going to try and guess at least one book that's going to be on each of the categories that I care about. I've never done a live reaction before to the Goodreads Choice Awards, so this will be kind of fun. But let's start with the fiction category. So the only guess that I have for the fiction category that I think will be on there is Yellowface, and I think that that will probably sweep it and probably win. I honestly never know what else is going to be on the fiction category because it's such a random mix of stuff. So there's often lots of stuff that I've never heard of on there. But shall we go and check what's on the fiction category? I'm so excited. Here's the banner. I have not clicked on this yet. So it's from the 14th to the 26th, which is not a lot of time if you did want to try and read some of them before voting. So let's click, and I'm going to try and not look at any of the others and just click on the fiction one without looking. I don't know how I'm going to do that from holding the camera, so I'm just going to like try not to look and kind of click or quickly click on the first one. Okay. Oh no, sorry, God, that was terrible. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I'm immediately slightly worried that I have not read any of these on the first page. I've heard of this one, and I've also heard of Hello Beautiful, but I've not read any of them. Oh, I've also heard of this one, Collected Regrets of Clover, but I've not read any of these. So that is slightly concerning. Okay, here we go. Yellowface. I got it right. Yellowface is on there. And also Mame. I loved Mame and I have read that one. So there's at least two that I've read. I wanted to read The Bee Sting. I have not read that yet. And then I also want to read Tom Lake. I've got that, but I have not read it yet. So there's two at least that I could vote between and a couple others that I've definitely heard of. And then the last, yay, there's Big Swiss is on there. I'm actually surprised at that, but I'm really happy. I really liked that one. Let's see, out of these three then that I've read, Mame, Big Swiss and Yellowface, which one would I pick? Do you know what? I'm going to pick Tactically because I think Big Swiss will get a lot of votes and I think Yellowface will probably win. So I want to pick Mame because I loved it and I think that it has got 57,000 ratings. Let's see how many ratings this has got. It's kind of a good way to tell what's going to be in the next round is like how many ratings things have got. That has less ratings. So I rated that a 4 and also this a 4, but they're both kind of 4.5. I think though that I'm going to go for, which one should I go for? I'm going to go for Mame. I'm voting for Mame. And you can always change your vote, like you can clear it and change it, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I was briefly actually going to try and make this high tech and have my little face in the corner so that I could react to it visually as well, but I cannot be bothered to do that, and I think that time is of the essence with this video. So we're just going to carry on in a shaky and informal kind of way. Okay, so let's go down the side and do not historical fiction next. So my guess for historical fiction is that I think Demon Copperhead would be in this category, but I'm actually not sure when the cutoff is of when that was published. But I don't read a lot of historical fiction, so we're gonna just give it a go. Oh my god, this is so nerve-wracking. Okay, as suspected, I don't know many of these. So I've heard of this one, Covenant of Water. What else? Oh, Wayward! I should have guessed Wayward. I have read Wayward. I did not love it. I should have guessed that. Oh, Isabel Lendi. I didn't know that she actually had a new one out. I have not read that, but I've heard of her. Okay, that's it. Demon Copperhead clearly was not in the nomination for this year. That's fine. I have read one, so I'm actually really pleased about this. I will vote for the only one that I've read, which is Wayward. I didn't love it. I gave it a 3-star, but that's fine. I'm going to vote for it anyway because I've read it. Okay, so the next category is mystery and thriller, which I don't read much of, and my guess for it was The It Girl, which I'm also not sure when it came out, so might not even be in this. But let's see if I have read any of these. Ooh, I don't love him. I should have guessed though. I don't love the first book that I read in that series. I've also heard of this. I think that sounds really good. Oh, Riley Sager. See, I'm not plugged into mystery and thriller to be able to make good guesses. I should have guessed that. I have not read it though. What else is there? Alice Feeney. I've heard of her. I've heard of this one. What else? Bright Young Women I've also heard of. And this is the second one. I've read the first one, which I could have guessed. So I've not read any of these. That's quite sad. I will not be able to vote unless I quickly read one before the 24th. Okay, so I cannot vote for this, but that's fine. If you are watching, please tell me which one you would recommend if you've read any of these. So next up, the category is romance, and I know that an Emily Henry is going to be in there. The Happy Place is definitely going to be in there. I have not read it, so I'm hoping that there's going to be at least one romance that I have read. So let's click and see. Oh, it's not looking good so far. Oh, Ali Hazelwood too. I should have guessed that. Oh no, I've not read any of these. I've heard of a lot of them. I've heard of this series by Lauren Asher. I've heard of this one, You Again, Yours Truly, and Love Theoretically. Out of all of them so far, I'd probably most likely read this one, Love Theoretically. I've heard of that series by Anna Huang. I've heard of Pucking Around. That was kind of controversial on TikTok. Happy Place is there. I knew it would be. I was kind of waiting for it to come out in paperback to read it, but maybe I'll just have to read it. 7-Year Slip I've heard of. Oh, I've heard of a lot of these. I've not read any of them. I just don't think I've read any romance this year, which is such a shame. So I cannot vote for any of them. This one, actually, more likely than Mystery Thriller that I will try and read. Like, I could just try and read Love Theoretically. Like, I don't think that'll take me long, and it's probably going to be the winner, and I'd kind of like to read the winner. Or at least like one that's going to be in the next round. So yeah, if you don't know, this gets cut down in the second round. So interesting. Let's move on. Oh my god, a new category. Romantasy is its full own category now. I swear that's not been a category before. That is crazy. Okay, so I have no predictions for what's in this other than that it's going to be Sarah J Maas, I assume. That's really interesting that they've split it out from fantasy. Let's just guess Sarah J Maas. I have no idea, but let's look. Okay, Assistant to the Villain. I've heard a lot about that. Oh, obviously Fourth Wing. What am I thinking? I've just not thought this through at all. I would obviously have thought Fourth Wing if I could have thought of Romantasy for more than 2 seconds. I've not read it though. Not read any of these top ones. God, the Zodiac Academy is still going on. Christ. A lot of these look really similar to each other. I've heard a lot about the Hurricane Wars, but I haven't heard good things, so I'm not sure I'd read that. God, From Blood and Ash is still going as well. I read the first one in this series and I liked it. But I didn't read the second one. I'm not doing so well so far. I've not read any of these. God, do I even read fantasy? This is so interesting. I love that they've kind of split it out actually from fantasy, because I feel like otherwise it just always takes over and wins. So this is definitely going to be the winner. Obviously, this is going to be the winner. Like, look at the number of ratings. That's insane. And I don't think I'm going to read it. So next up is fantasy. I will guess Bookshops and Bone Dust. I guessed Amina Al-Sarafi will be in there. God Killer will be in there. There'll be a Brandon Sanderson one, although actually his releases... how many are you allowed to have in? I'm going to guess Tress of the Emerald Sea for Brandon Sanderson. So yeah, let's see. Let's just see what's in there. Hopefully I can actually vote for one now. Okay, I've read that. Oh, I wish it didn't pop up so I can use my... Okay, I'll just do this. I've read that. This is very exciting. I'm reading this month, which is also exciting. No, I haven't read that, but I've read that. Okay, we're doing quite well. Have not read that yet, but want to. And I've heard of most of these. Desperate to read this one. Also, that's just come out, so it's kind of crazy that's already being voted in. Oh, I really want to read this one. And I love this one. Okay, there's loads that I love in here. This is exciting. Now I have to decide what to pick. Okay, so here's my thinking. I want Tress to win, but I think Tress will get into the second round quite easily. So I'm going to use my vote tactically and vote for Starling House, that I think will be less likely to get in, because I really loved it. And so then in the next round, I want to vote for Tress of the Emerald Sea, because I'm using these tactically. This is kind of fun. Okay, so next up we have sci-fi. So the only guess that I have for this is that Pierce Brown's new book, Lightbringer, will be in there. So let's have a look. Oh, not looking good. I've heard of this series, but I have not read any of these. There we go. That was my prediction. That is managed to be in there. So at least there's that. but I've not read any of these. So I've heard really, really good things about Chain Gang All Stars. I also have read I saw Naomi Alderman speak about this book, but I think that's quite a recent release, so I'm not sure that would win. Lightbringer I think would probably win. So I'm not going to vote in this because I have not read any of them, which is kind of disappointing. But okay, so horror. So initially I could not remember any. I was thinking maybe T. Kingfisher would have a book in there. I've also just realised Stephen King has probably released a book. That's probably going to be in there. But my hope is that Rouge is going to be in there and that I'm going to vote for Rouge. Like, that's going to be my vote. So let's click on horror. This is exciting. Oh, and I did not know Natural Beauty was a horror. Wow. Okay, maybe I'll read that. That like sounds really good actually. Oh, Our Share of Night. Yay, Rouge is there. Okay, amazing. I'm definitely going to vote for Rouge unless there's something else that kind of comes up. I've heard Our Share of Night is really good. Oh, of course, Silver Nitrates of Marina Garcia. That's come out this year. That's cool. Vampires El Norte. Oh my god, I forgot that that was a horror. I read that and I really loved it. Oh, there is a T. Kingfisher, so at least I got that a little bit right. My other guess was, oh, Grady Henry, I should have guessed he would be in there. I have not read it. And there is a Stephen King in there. So out of the ones that I've read, which is only 2, I believe. Yeah, I've only read Rouge and Vampires of El Norte. So, oh, that's tough. I did really, really like Vampires of El Norte. But I think I'll go for Rouge. Also, it's not had that many ratings. Oh, so I definitely have to go for Rouge because that has to go through to the next round. So that is my vote for horror. That's kind of fun because I don't usually get to vote in horror. Young adult. Okay, so my only real guess for this was like a Percy Jackson. I don't know if there's one that's come out, but that's my guess. And also thinking about it, Brandon Sanderson's sci-fi series, which started with Skyward. Skyward? Yeah. I think that he's probably had one of those. I'm pretty sure he's had one released this year, so that might be in there. But let's have a look at young adult. Oh, okay. I've heard a lot about Infinite Threads and this one, but I haven't read them. Oh, Divine Rivals. I didn't know that's young adult. Going down. Stolen Air, of course. Wow, I thought that came out a while ago, but apparently it was this year. Threads That Bind, I've heard a lot about that, and Chain of Thorns, that I do want to read this one actually. That's the only one on here that I'm like definitely going to read. Study in Drowning, I'm reading that this month. Okay, I seriously need to get on board and read that quickly because I can't vote for any of the others. And I'm going to guess that that'll probably be my vote because that's the only one that I'm going to read. But yeah, these actually, I should have guessed a few more of these. Cassandra Clare, that's probably going to win, isn't it? Like, it's going to take it. Or maybe Divine Rivals might win too. Okay, fun. So I can't vote on any of these yet, but I might get to soon. Young adult fiction. This is a genre that I do not read from a lot. I did just DNF a book that was young adult fiction that was better than the movies. That might come up. What else is young adult that I've read? The Do's and Donuts of Love. That would be nice if that came up because I read that and that was really good. But I don't actually have any real predictions for this category, but let's see what's in there. So, oh, okay. I got rejected for this on NetGalley, so I'm like holding a grudge. I don't know why. Okay, so I have not heard of a lot of these. Oh, the Ali Hazelwood one. I've heard of that and that'll probably win. Oh, Talia Hibbert. Yes, I've heard of that and that'll probably, I hope that wins. I love her adult stuff. But other than that, have not read any of them, which is okay. I thought that I maybe wouldn't have read any of these. I'll be interested to know if you suggest any of these to read. Bit disappointing that like Gwen and Art Are Not in Love is not on there because I do like Lex Croucher and I know that that's a young adult one. Next up, debut. So my guess or my hope for debut was that Bellies by Nicola Diamond would be in there because I know that's a debut and I know that came out recently. So that's my hope for debut, but I also really don't know because this is kind of a wild kind of free-for-all category. There's loads of stuff that they usually put in here, so let's see what's in debut. Okay, I've seen this before but I haven't heard much about it. These are interesting. This was in Best Fiction as well, the Collected Regrets of Clover. Chain Gang All-Star, again, that's come up, and I've heard really good things. Wayward, again, I did not realise that was a debut. Pineapple Street, I've heard good things about that one. A lot of these are in other categories. Oh, Mummy, yeah, there we go. I can vote for one, and I've heard really good things about the Bandit Queens as well, so that might win, or I'd be very happy if it did, because I do want to read that one. So my vote is the only one that I've read, which is Mummy. So I'm glad that I can vote in that one. Oh, I've also read Wayward, but I didn't really like it. So yeah, that's the debut. So let's go down next to non-fiction. Okay, I don't have any guesses for this. I don't know. I'm just looking because I'm curious now. So we don't have guesses. Oh, this Butts one was quite funny. I saw that a few places. But other than that, I have not heard of any of these. So I'll be interested if you have read any, if you'd recommend them. Because I do love a good non-fiction, but they're kind of hard to find, you know, the real good ones. So this one looks quite cool. The Creative Act, A Way of Being. But yeah, not voting in this one. Let's go to memoir and autobiography. Britney Spears, surely that was going to be in there. I don't think I actually made a guess for this officially, but Britney Spears I think is going to be in there. I don't know who else. Oh, maybe the Matthew Perry one, that might be in there. I think that came out recently. And maybe, did Spare come out in this year? The Prince Harry one. They're my 3 guesses, so let's see what's in here. Britney's in there. Hope she wins. And Spare's in there. Have not read it though. And what else is in here? Pamela Anderson. Oh, Page Boy. I have heard of that. Heard that's good. So yeah. Doesn't look like the Matthew Perry one came out this year. I feel like otherwise it'd be in there. Maybe if I could vote, I would vote for Britney, even though I've not read it. So I will skip that because I've not read them. I might vote for these later, like after I've had a chance to read them, but history and biography I'm not going to bother guessing because I have no clue. I'm just going to check. Oh, I've read kind of part of one of his books before, but not read that one. Just seeing if I recognise any of these. God, jump scare. No, don't recognise any. That's fine. Let's go on to humour. I also doubt that I've read any of these, but we will also just check for completeness' sake. No, haven't read any of those, so that's cool. All right, that's kind of interesting. So just to sum up, for fiction I voted for Mame, although now I've voted for Mame somewhere else. I could potentially vote for like Big Swiss in this one. Yellowface I liked, but I think the other 2 I preferred, but I'll leave it for there for now. This I voted for the only one I've read, I believe. Yeah, the only one I've read out of those. And then mystery and thriller, couldn't vote. Not sure what I would have voted for. Maybe Bright Young Women, that sounds really interesting. Romance, I'm sad that I can't vote in this. I feel really behind on my romance vibe. I'll be interested if you have any suggestions of which one to read. Romantasy, I'm so happy about this being split off from fantasy, because it means that like they're just so different in terms of fantasy versus romantasy, and so I'm very, very happy that like Sarah J Maas can't always win in the fantasy category and it's kind of split off. So that's very fun. Fantasy, this is definitely my genre. It's the one that I've read the most from, or want to read the most from. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm going to read a couple of these this month as well. Okay, so that was so much fun. I'm so happy that I did a little live reaction and we got to have a look at the whole list together. I didn't do too well with my guesses, to be honest, and I never do with the Goodreads Choice Awards because I'm really bad at guessing when things have come out as well. But I'm pretty happy with the ones I managed to vote for off the cuff. I will, I think, try to read at least one of those romances that have been nominated so that I can vote in the romance category, and maybe I'll try and read a romantasy as well so that I can have another vote, because I do like to have like one that I read in each category that I care about. So that's kind of fun. Let me know your initial thoughts on the Goodreads Choice Awards nominations and what you would have voted for, or what you're going to vote for if you're going to. And yeah, so I will talk to you again soon, and remember to subscribe. Sorry, I always forget to say, please subscribe because it means a lot to me. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.